Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a Lego set and then a model kit, and mostly I'm just here to hang out with you. I'll be doing those things, but I'm also going to be here with y'all. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. I missed to add. I'm going to add the Scythe right now, and the Bear Cave and the Lego. And if you're a subscriber, you can reply with that. Harold, thank you for hosting. Appreciate that as always. If you're not a subscriber, hey, Lashbrook, you can just say hi or hey or sup. You don't have to reply with my emotes. You can do whatever. Also, if you're a subscriber, you can reply with other emotes. Jam is here. Hi, Jam. Yeah, this is going to be the hangout portion of the stream here, the intro portion. We're going to wait to see if a few more folks want to join us. And then when we've got a good amount of folks, we'll get into building. Aristophan is here. Hi, Aristophan. You can see I've got this little Lego truck here, and it's going to be attached to a little camper in the back. We're building the camper part, and that'll end our Lego 3-in-1 shuttle transporter. And once that's completed, the shuttle transporter is completed, we move on and we get into a Deathscythe. That's right. Working on a Gundam Deathscythe. It looks like this. But then there's more to it because it's a whole thing. This is not the first I've done of these. I did a Shenlong Gundam that had some extra parts. Basically, in the manga, they didn't just create like Endless Waltz new versions of kits. They just modified them, heavily modified. And so when they produced them as model kits, they just took the Gundams with the base ones and added some new parts, and in fact, just added new instructions. And we'll look at that. But basically, I've got the old book, and then this one just like, hey, instead of step 11 on page 15, just jump to this and do this instead. Here's a couple pages. So I've done that before, you know. And it's an excuse for me to build a Deathscythe, which is, as many of you know, my favorite Gundam is a Deathscythe. Is it this Deathscythe? No. But the Deathscythe in general is my favorite. It's the Gundam Deathscythe Hell Custom from Endless Waltz, because it's got goddamn bat wings, and it just looks cool as hell. The Deathscythe is my second favorite. It's Deathscythe Hell Custom, Deathscythe Hell, or Deathscythe, then Deathscythe Hell, and then either it's the Epion or the Tall Geese 3, depending on the day. Someone's fighting for fourth place. It's one of those two. But that's my five favorite Gundams, and they're all from Gundam Wing because it's my favorite Gundam series. And then at number 6 is probably number 6 is probably it might be the God Gundam from GIBiate. That's a great fucking Gundam. It's a great main character ass Gundam. Cool burning fingers, it's great. And then right below that is the Master Gundam from GIBiate, because that's an incredible kit. That might be more. That might be my. Someday I'll have to. Maybe I'll have to rank my favorite Gundams, and I'll just put a bunch of my favorite Gundams in a thing and do it as a ranking video, Baering the List. I don't know. I hope you're all doing well. We're going to talk about a few things. One thing I forgot to do, and I'm going to do it in a moment, is I'm going to go into my own profile, and I'm going to see if I can download some pictures that I can then talk to you all about in the chat, because I did a woodworking project, a little bit of a project there. I was very happy with the results, and we will talk about that, how it all looks, talk about some tools and stuff, kind of just go through it. Let me save those photos so that I can add them in later, and we can just talk about them as we build, because I think that would be fun. Great. Banshee Norn is definitely my favorite currently. So Lashbrook, while I think that's an excellent mobile suit, my big problem with it is I don't like building Norns or unicorns. They're just too much goddamn work. All that color underneath and sliding stuff. I've built 2 Norns. Did not enjoy building either of them. So while I do appreciate the kit very much, I'm not a huge fan of it. Um, in the mail today, I got my Deathscythe and I got my Tall Geese 2 real grade. Tomorrow, I will be getting the injection machine. We'll go, just show you here. The injection machine, that is coming tomorrow. And the RX 782 clear is coming tomorrow. That's a high grade. And then I got this Tall Geese 2 real grade. Very excited to put that together. Tall Geese 2 is rad. And I got, the Rousette version of the Deathscythe, which we'll be building next. We were going to put together the Uravan, which is a cool looking kit, but I called an audible because I was not expecting the Deathscythe to arrive, and then it did at like literally 6 o'clock tonight. It showed up. And so I was like, well, I'm going to build that. I got it. I'm going to build it. Because we build Deathscythes around here. In this house, we build Deathscythes. But first, I got to move my mouse out of the way. And 2, we got to finish this Lego kit. So put that over there. We'll get this in here. Let's start putting some Lego together. Why not? Why the F not, right? Well, we're going to get any younger in here? Let's get going. Let's do some building. Let's have some fun. I hope that everyone is doing A-OK right now. I am doing my best. I like to think that I'm doing just fine. Having an okay Monday. Things are weird out there. Trying to stay positive, trying to be all right. I'm going to get ahead of this. I have not looked into anything, but sometimes people want to talk about, we're on Twitch right now, unless you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, in which case, hey YouTube. But if you're watching this right now as it's live happening, then you're on Twitch. So sometimes people want to talk about Twitch drama. And I don't know the details. I literally never heard of, until now, had not heard of one of the streamers, but 2 streamers were involved in an altercation today at one streamer's home, and one streamer reportedly pointed a gun at the streamer whose house was there, pointed a gun at the person coming to their house. I have no further details on that other than the person that pointed a gun made a tweet at some point saying something to the line of, I can't imagine pointing a gun at someone. And then they did. Now, if that's an actual firearm, if it's a loaded firearm, what the details are, if this was just a thing that's happening, or what, I do not know. I do not know. I only know the name of one of these people, and I don't know anything about them because I don't actually watch a lot of very popular streamers. I watch a lot of somewhat popular streamers, and I watch a lot of very cool, awesome streamers. But I don't I don't go and watch like people with the most views. Like, that's not my thing. It's not my style. So I don't really know who these people are. But it is a thing that's involved Twitch. So like, I felt like I should at least click a link to, and there's no link. It's just people on Twitter posting retweeting the same photo and referencing the same thing. And also saying horrible things because one of the people involved is overweight. So, of course, they're saying you can use your imagination about what a man who is a large man with a gun, what fun people on Twitter might think that he is saying or doing. You can use your imagination. I am very glad Twitch keeps recommending similar creator communities to you might like. Yes, Aristofan, that is nice. I will say that Twitch, when they're not just like putting money into promoting people that are already well off and doing great, they are the algorithms they have are pretty spot on. At the very least, it does give you people in the categories that you watch, right? So like, uh, hey, Bad Gunpil, welcome. So if you're watching myself, you may get recommended to channels that do makers and crafting. You're probably going to get recommended that if you come here a lot. You may also get some Hearthstone streamers because I do stream Hearthstone like a couple times, like once, maybe twice a month. So you might get that as well. But most likely you're going to be recommended people that do model kit building or other kind of craft stuff because you hang out here. If you hang out here a bunch, you may even be here right now because you were recommended based on people. Don't do it, Pat. There are going to be so many Gokus. Be original and go as Karen. As you all don't stay at all. Yes, no. Dirty is referencing a tweet I made earlier. Hey, everybody. Welcome. About LA Comic-Con. Dirty also wants me to hit that gong using the channel points right away. Get those channel points in. I'm going to hit this gong and then I will respond. So, thank you, Dirty, for using the channel points. So, as mentioned, Los Angeles Comic-Con announced that they are going ahead with their convention this December. Tickets are going on sale, I believe, tomorrow. Hey, Lord Crashington, welcome, welcome. So, that convention in Los Angeles. Q-Cube just subscribed with Prime. That's 2 months. Thank you so much for renewing your subscription. We're going to hit the old applause here. Let's throw the Baer Cave Lego the Scythe remote. Let the people know that we appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, Lashbrook, I mean, no. Look, I understand that at a certain point, people are done with doing the right and proper thing. The whole idea of like, we need to unite as nerds. And I'm like, hey man, nerds are the ones who have adjusted. Look, every case is different. Every person is different. Everybody's got a different story. Nerds have adjusted the best to this because nerds already knew what Zoom was. Nerds already have webcams. Nerds already watch digital content on the week when they can't go to a convention. Nerds were already watching Twitch's PAX coverage, like they were already keeping up with stuff. They already have more friends who they communicate with on Twitter and Facebook than they do in their day-to-day because they moved away from each other and kept in contact instead of, well, we moved away, guess we're not friends anymore. So, like, yeah, nerds have figured this part out more than other people. They don't need to go to the LA Convention Center. They don't need to fly to Los Angeles or fly back to where they're from after being at a convention. It's like, nah, dude, nah. And my biggest fear of it is people that were planning to go to table at LA Comic-Con back when it was going to be in October before they postponed it, right? I hope they don't get pressured by people, because I remember. I will not forget, and I will not let other people forget when folks started pulling out of Emerald City Comic-Con, which eventually, to their credit, Emerald City Comic-Con eventually did cancel the convention, but they didn't want to. And people were, at this time, conventions are well known to be disease-free. Exactly, Yustafan. So yeah, it's already going to be really safe. Now, so, after PAX, right, people kind of were like, PAX is going to be the PAX East and Emerald City, and C2E2. That should be the last con. There shouldn't be other cons this year. And meat space cons. And even though Emerald City Comic-Con is fucking in Seattle, which was the first city to have major cases and an outbreak. People were like, the organizers didn't want to cancel because they wanted Washington State or the city of Seattle to cancel. And Washington State and the city of Seattle didn't want to cancel because people were in denial about it being an issue that folks needed to handle. So no one was budging, except you know who was budging? People who pulled out of the convention. People that had tables. People that were going to lose money on flights and lose money on their tables, and lose money on the products they had, the merchandise they had already purchased for it, or stuff they were sending there, hotel. But people realized my health is not worth this, and people got fucking mad about that shit. Cons. People got mad about that shit. People who were like, but you're one of the reasons I was going to this con. And they didn't want to hear the response of, you shouldn't go either. Now, eventually, Emerald City Comic Con got canceled, right? And I'm sure that people didn't say, hey, I'm sorry that I was an asshole to you on Twitter for canceling before it got canceled. And I'm sure instead people were like, you're the reason, they were just blaming people. Like, it would have happened if a bunch of the guests and tables didn't cancel. And then eventually you just start thinking about other things. You don't think about it. But I'm sure that there are going to be people who are like, hey, how come you're not going to, completely without any thought or reason? People will be like, hey, you usually go to LA Comic Con. Why aren't you going this year? And people have to be like, oh, because there's an epidemic and I don't want to go. Like, is that a good, and they'll be like, oh, okay. Oh, all right. I was just asking, just wondering if you were going to go. We're thinking of going and we wanted to see you there. It's like, because if you do the mental gymnastics necessary to tell yourself that you are going to a convention center, to go to a convention in December 2020, then you have decided that it's okay to go. And finding out that other people aren't going is the surprise. Not that, hey, oh, actually, it makes sense you're not there. I'm the weird one. Because you have to decide. Bad Couple just says, I'm shocked that Texas Ren Festival is going on in like 2 weeks with 20 mask rest areas. I mean, I'm not as surprised. Yeah, I mean, it's outdoors, right? It's a Ren fair, so it's outdoors. I'm sure people are... Now, I mean, it's just... I mean, you might be able to argue that a little more than, yes, recreating the plague, yeah. You might be able to argue the Ren Fair a little... Look, also, I should say, I understand very much that people are like, well, I didn't have any cons this year. I live in the Los Angeles area. I'm going to table there and just do whatever I can. But like, you still have to do business transactions. You still have to be in that circulated air room. You don't know if people are going to be, good about any of that. Like, it's just such a risk. And I do understand that, like the same thing with like indie wrestlers taking up dates at drive-ins and the Midwest, and stand-up comics going to do outdoor venues and whatever else people are trying to do. Like, I get it. But a convention, a Ren fair, that's a bad idea. Probably never going to go back. As many people attend that have died from the thing. It's insane. Yeah, no, it's just like I want to go to a convention again, but there has to be a vaccine before I'm going to go in a room with thousands and thousands of people. Like, I can't. Yeah, that's just the reality of it. Yeah, it's just like shouldn't happen, and I'm so sad for people that are dealing with this and like oops, I put this on the wrong side. This is the front. This goes in the back. Guys, I was so heated about this. I just screwed it all up. There we go. So put that like that. That goes on this side. See me messing everything up. Oh, we'll just keep this like this, and we'll just swap it the other way. But yeah, it's just like, like I don't know. Like I guess I won't side eye people that are like, I need a table. I am the breadwinner in my family, but I will certainly side eye anyone that's just like, yeah, man, we got tickets. We're getting on a plane. We're going to the LA Convention Center to go to Los Angeles Comic Con, and we're going to be dicks to people that say they're not going. Um, we can do hobby events online. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like, as someone that has attended conventions online this year, some were handled really well. Some were handled less well, but they're still trying to figure it out, trying to do their thing. Lots of love and lots of respect to them. Oh, this was identical. I could have done this. I didn't have to fix my mistake. I could have just lived with it. Oh well. Now I knew. Lesson learned. Um, yeah. Especially like, well, one thing I want to point out that I think was really fun is Funimation did a convention this year because it's a digital con. They are not equipped right now with staff to do a convention. They're not going to do Funimation Con at a venue and do all that. But they were able to do a con this year because they're like, well, we can do a digital one. So we got a con we wouldn't have had normally. That's pretty neat. Not the same thing, obviously. But like, that's kind of cool that they were just like, oh, we'll just do one. It's like, sure, this is something we can do. Hey, I know somebody renewed their subscription. If you want to, oh no, that's right. That was QQ to renew their subscription. I saw the number went up. That's right. But as a reminder to folks, if you do renew your subscriptions, make sure that you hit that notification button so we can all say thank you for doing that. Also, a reminder, it behooves me to remind you that it is currently still September, which around here means Subtember. And if you would like to become a subscriber, then and you've never been one before, you can get a discount by subscribing this month. So consider doing that. Yeah. See, yeah, you got till Wednesday, the 30th, which is also, I'm going to play Hearthstone on Wednesday. How weird that Pat's going to play Hearthstone. But yeah, I got a standard deck I kind of like. I've got a couple wild decks I still enjoy. I'm going to try to rank up a little bit there. So yeah, I'm going to have some more fun in Hearthstone on Wednesday. So feel free to come by for that. My last bonus stream of the month. That'll be on Wednesday. And yeah, as I try to find some other cool shit to watch and enjoy. As far as anime goes, we got the end of a season upon us, but new season starts in like a couple days. It's so wild, folks. Thoughts on nerfs? I just saw them. Well, Aristophan, I didn't see any Hearthstone nerfs, so I'm going to look those up. Hearthstone nerfs. I'm going to look them up because I didn't know that there were any new nerfs. So I'm going to check them out now. As we put the wheels on this kit, I'm going to take a look at some nerfs. Put that on there. And put some tires on here. Nope, that's not what I need. I need Hearth. Stone, nerfs, and... Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, so we got... I knew that there was a Battlegrounds update coming. Well, I think that immediately one of these is bad. Oops. Oh, sorry. There's a... I've got an auto-playing ad that I couldn't mute, which is fun. Thanks a lot. Let's see. So, Battlegrounds. I do not care about Battlegrounds. If that's your mode, that's your mode. Enjoy it. That's not... What happened here? Tell me the other thing. What else is getting nerfed? Okay, okay. All right. Turtle Mage gonna get nerfed. Uh, Guardian Animals is being nerfed. I don't love that because I think all the dragon decks are, or not dragons, all the druid decks are fun. So I would say that. Guardian Animals now 8. They adjusted a card that was key to some Turtle Mage deck that has some sort of infinite freeze. Yes, so the turtle stuff was you could just, I mean, people have been making very fun wild decks with it, but you could just like do a lot of shit constantly over and over and over again because you would do Tulturan Pilgrim Potion of Illusion, you get another Pilgrim, then you could play a 1/1 Pilgrim, and you could do a freeze and then get another Pilgrim, and just like, it wasn't hard to do that. But I disagree with making, I don't think going from 7 to 8 is going to change Guardian Animals. Use. I think Guardian Animals is going to be okay, Battlecry will no longer discover and play a copy of the spell from your deck. It will consume the spell. Okay, so it consumes it. So you can't just use it over and over again. And then yeah, I think that is still going to happen. I got really hard back into Magic Arena the last couple weeks. Oh, nice. That's awesome. All right, we finished this up. So I'm going to put this together here. I'll take a photo of this. This was the camper. Okay, take a good photo of that. And we have concluded this Lego set, which was a fun one. Take a photo of that. Guardian Animals nerf feels more like the Secret Passage nerf to Rogue. A small adjustment, but still playable. Yeah, Aristophan, it doesn't break it, and especially folks that were doing like King's Druid. That's still going to be a viable card. And Ramp Druid, like, okay, you can still get to 8 mana, not too bad. It is an adjustment. I'm glad that it's a mana adjustment and not an adjustment of what it does, where Pilgrim. So I guess Pilgrim, you're going to have... I wonder if you can use Pilgrim with the Elec. I wonder if the Elec will count that spell. I don't know. But it does change Pilgrim, and it does remove a lot of those decks, especially in Wild. There were a lot of really annoying decks that was a part of. So I'm actually kind of glad they're doing that. They were going to nerf it. They had to nerf it. Same thing with Secret Passage. They had to nerf it. It was inevitable they would. All right, so I'm going to put a bunch of Legos here in my big bag of Legos because I'm going to be using that in a free build in the future. So let me just dump a bunch of Lego here and there. Just putting a bunch of Lego in this big bag and dealing with it later. Because eventually I'm going to do a Lego free build and it's going to be rad as heck. But I can't do that now because I got to build the Deathscythe. All right. Hell yeah. It's Deathscythe time. We're building a Deathscythe. I'm so excited. It's been a while. We did the Deathscythe Hell like custom. I rebuilt a while ago. But yes, it is now Deathscythe time. We are working on the Gundam Deathscythe Rousette unit. This is it is the Deathscythe, original Deathscythe, not the Hell. Indeed, Aristophan throwing in the Deathscythe emote. So this was I pre-ordered this in April. This was a premium Bandai exclusive. This was not part of the Gunpla Expo. This was the release. So basically, if you look at this right here, you just look at the booklet. This is the 2010, because, they add Endless Waltz to everything. It's not the Endless Waltz version. This is the original Deathscythe. This is the 2010 re-release of the Master Grade, right? So you're going to build this. We're going to build the head. We're going to start with the body. We're going to build the head, the arms, same thing you would normally do, put it all together. Then we're going to get here to step 6. We're going to do the legs. We're going to do the waist. We're going to put it all together. And then we're going to stop. And we're going to put this booklet away when we get to the backpack. And then we're going to take out this booklet, which is just a little insert thing. This is the modern thing. This is the new edition of it that came out. And we're going to take this, and then we're going to build step 1 here, and we're going to build new cool-looking wings that can be moved around a little bit. And that's the new version of this kit. And these are the new parts that come with it. And that's what it's going to, we got the decals and stuff, which we're not probably going to worry about too much. But yeah. So it's got some new shit in it, and looks neat as hell. And then, so, yes. So we still have to, it's just a different backpack than we build here. So then we'll go back and we'll do we'll still have to do the beam sight and the buster shield as normal. Those are normal too. So it's just like a different step. As I said, a while ago we did the Shenlong Gundam last year, and that we got at I believe at Anime NYC, and that was very similar to this kind of thing, where we built basically, I think it was the 2012 Shenlong, and then put on a different version of the shield and a sword. The sword was fucking rad, but I had just kind of recently built that, and so I was like, meh, meh, meh. I have not built this kit in a while, and I'm feeling okay about doing it in this incarnation. So yeah, let's build a fucking Deathscythe, y'all. Mm-hmm. Siri just talked to me for no reason. I don't know why, but Siri, when I said let's fucking do this, Siri was like, I'm on it, which is a weird thing to say. Because I don't need them to be on it. We're good. I don't need that. So yeah, I'm excited to put this together. It's been a little while since I did Deathscythe. We do Deathscythes here on the stream. That's a thing. We have built on this stream the master grade of the Deathscythe, the master grade of Deathscythe Hell custom for Endless Waltz. We've done that twice, actually. We've built the Deathscythe Hell high grade. We've built the Deathscythe Endless Waltz high grade as well. We built the Chibi Deathscythe, which was a fun one to do. When does fall 2020 start? Is it October 1st? Dirty? I mean, June, July, August, September. Yeah, I mean, I think it's fall now. I mean, the real thing is, Dirty, is no time doesn't matter. Time is a lie. It's still March. It's just March like 150. So I don't know what to tell you. If I was in New York, it'd be hoodie weather right now. Oh, anime season, knucklehead. Dirty. fall 2020 anime season begins, I believe, October 1st or 2nd. Let me look it up. Uh, I thought you were just talking about the summer. I don't know. So, yeah, the fall anime season begins. Technically, the fall anime season begins in 2 days and 12 hours when episode 1 of Higurashi When They Cry starts. And 2 hours later, Assault Lily starts. And then the next day is the anime. I can't remember the name of it. It's the witch anime. It's not Burn the Witch. It's the other one. Do you want to build a test site? No, Dirty. I just used Anichart. I just look at Anichart. Mainly, it's because I know when the shows I want to see start, and that's not for 3 days because the first two I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch Higurashi When They Cry. I stopped watching the first time. I'm certainly not going to pick it up the second time. And I'm not interested in watching Assault Lily, an anime based on a doll line that just seemed really uninteresting. The description seemed really interesting. Now, I would be happy to be wrong because if Assault Lily is good, then I'll watch it because I like to be pleasantly surprised by things being good. But that didn't seem that interesting. So for me anyway, my first thing that I'm going to watch is Majo no Tabi Tabi, which looks interesting and might make me sad. It's kind of like Kino's Journey, but a witch instead of a girl with a talking motorcycle. I'm probably going to start 100 Man or A Million Souls Are Under Me. I'm probably going to start that because it looks like a kind of interesting, kind of dark isekai. And also in a couple days is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? I'm going to check that out too. Oh, also Tonikawa Over the Moon for You. I'll probably be checking that out. Maybe I'm going to check out King's Raid. I don't know if I'm going to check out King's Raid. That seems like it. The premise of King's Raid is pretty cool. Because oh, Harold, see you later. Assault Lily, the Rosen Maid of the New Decade. Yeah, I don't know. Assault Lily, Bouquet, all capital letters. It's got that thing where the villains are called just a one-word English name. In this case, these monsters are called Huge. They're just known as Huge. They got to fight the Huge with a capital H, of course. And I'm just like, nah, I'm good. I'm all right. I don't need to see that. The King's Raid sounds kind of interesting. Basically, a hero defeated the demons. The demons are kind of done. But while that big epic battle was happening generations ago, apparently, the Dark Elves did some bad shit. And then it seemed to imply that perhaps they didn't do dark shit. They're just persecuted because they are dark elves. So it may be a race allegory, and that could be interesting, but I bet isn't. So I don't know. I can't remember the last time I've watched a show. Zero free time these days. Bad Gunpla, I hear you. One thing I have these days is time. I do have time, so I try to keep up on stuff. And also, it is a thing. Oh, like from start to finish, yeah. It is a thing I get to do here. Is I get to talk about anime. So that's fun because then I can talk about what I'm into and what's going on. Sorry about that. And kind of hold a conversation here, and that is helpful for me to be able to do that on the streams because it means that in a period of my life where I don't have the most stuff going on in my life, I can, at the very least, know that every stream I will have something to talk about. Because sometimes I don't have enough to talk about. And when I'm doing my model kits, I'm doing my uh, any kind of video game stream. But yeah, I definitely can talk about the video game. But when I'm doing like a build stream, I can talk about this kit, but I can only say so much. This is the kit that is a 90s kit that got a fresh coat of paint and a redesign in 2010. It does a good job. It's a good kit. I put this together incorrectly slightly. But eventually I will run out of things to say about how good this kit is put together. And then I can talk about other things. One of the things we're going to talk about in a second, because I got to bring some photos up, is a little bit of woodworking project. The design is awesome. Oh, I think it's great. I think the choices made in this are really cool. Uh, and just the wings look so neat. I think they're just, and I love the colors. I think that the color choices of this really do make it seem like that this is it's an attempt to make this a bit more of a main Gundam, which I'm all for because the Deathscythe shares some similarities with being the main Gundam in a show in its color scheme, but I do think it just looks great. See, that's why I build bad kits on my streams. You never run out of things to talk about with bad kits. Well, see, yes, yeah. Well, you do bad gunpla. That's your stick. You know, you're gonna do these kits, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, look at this thing." Whereas I occasionally will build something that I don't think turned out great, but generally I am excited about what I work on and happy to work on them. But yeah, I mean, I've had kits that I'm like, I did not enjoy that as much as I wish I had. Um, but I always strive for this kit fucking rules. Check out this cool thing. That is always the goal. Uh, but yeah, let's talk about oh yeah, that Barbatos Massacre is fantastic. Let me add some images here, and we can kind of just look at them. We'll just do that while we talk here. Let me just quickly get this image up. I can just do this. I got this. I can just do this. We'll just make this smaller. Throw it up here. Okay. Oops. Oop. There we go. I'm just going to put that over there. And then... So yeah, a little woodworking. My neighbor has lots of woodworking equipment. Lots of stuff that I don't have in here in the house. My dad has some tools, but he does not have power tools, made power tools, or much room there. It is so. The mailbox and the post you see there, and the mailbox that was already there. You can kind of see in this photo the other mailboxes. They're all very similar, right? Uh, the mailbox was already there, and the post was already there, and the wood you can see the new wood that is here. That's just replacement wood that was put together. There's a little bit of trim work that was done. Obviously, now you're saying to yourself, Pat, I can tell that the old wood that was there, it was up a little higher, and the trim was up a little higher. Yes, but once I sand properly and paint everything, you won't notice that. It won't look like I maybe didn't, it maybe isn't perfect and could use a little more, could have done slightly higher. Like maybe where you started was a little lower than it should have been. But I still think it looks great. And I think it turned out well. Still got a sand and we dropped some frames there, but looks like everything's okay. So sorry about that if there was a glitch there. You can see that right at the bottom, like right here at the very bottom, there is the mark of a number. I did not want to include my house number there, but those numbers are going to come off and hopefully get resprayed, and then we paint the whole thing, and then I want to. This is an ongoing conversation with my father right now. Is taking the bear sign off to then paint everything, or painting around the bear sign and painting the it, my, for my money, just take it off. It doesn't take. It's not going to be hard. It's 2 screws. We can take that off. We wanted to put it on there because we want to have the name on there, but we can just take that off to paint it. That's my opinion. We're in a bit of a conversation about that. Uh, I think it is. I think it will just be better to do that. Um, my dad is the professional painter. He is a former house painter, retired. He has a lot more experience with painting than I do. But I think it turned out okay. I'm pretty happy with it, with how it turned out overall. Got a nice response from this on the old Twitter, and that was nice to see. Um, but yeah, yeah, that was a nice little thing. I haven't done, haven't helped with a woodworking project in quite some time. I just didn't have access to anything in New York to go and do that stuff. So just having even the slightest bit of access here was genuinely rad as hell. So yeah, we're putting together our cockpit here in the body, getting the body together. This is all very old hat for me. The frame, the internal frame that all of these Gundams share, because one, they were all made at the same time, and two, in fiction, all of the five Gundams are based on the prototype Gundam. So because they made one and then realized, ooh, this shit is too powerful, and we can't use the zero drive. Like, people can't handle this shit. So let's build other versions of it. And one of them will just look very similar to the other, as if perhaps that one was designed first, and then they were like, oh, well, they're all based on this other one, and that one was designed actually second. Perhaps. Perhaps. But anyway, I think it looks pretty neat. I think it turned out good. It's got to get painted, but it's going to be rainy here all week, so it'll be a while before that gets painted, and that's okay. Let's take that out. But yeah, that was the thing that I was happy came together the way that it did. But yeah, we're getting a lot of rain over here, so that is unfortunately going to have to go on the back burner. But yeah, in a couple of minutes, we're going to take a pause for the calls, talk ways you can support the stream if that's something you want to do. Again, no need to do it, but you can. So we'll get into that in a minute, and we're going to keep working on this Deathscythe. So one of the quote-unquote bummers, I don't know if it's a bummer, of this is, since this is a 2010 kit with some new parts, the new parts are the second to last or the last thing that we'll do. We might even do the weapons before we do the backpack just to get through all of the old stuff done. So we still got to do like all of that before we then add in the other parts. But like, this is still a quality kit. The wing designs are still fantastic. These are the first model kits I ever built. In fact, this Deathscythe. The high grade version of this Deathscythe is the first kit I ever built in my life, and it's not the first master. This isn't the first master grade I ever built, but it was the first high grade, the Deathscythe high grade, because the Deathscythe was my clear favorite. So when I started doing model kits, that was the first one I did, because I was just like, well, I want a Deathscythe if I'm gonna get into this. It's like, well, because that was my thing. If I didn't like building model kits, because I wasn't sure I was going to like it or not, then I was like, well, at least let me get the one that I'm most likely to enjoy instead of just one I don't care about. And that's a lot of times that's what I recommend to people that are like, hey, I've liked Gundam for a while, and this, I have a couple favorite shows, and I've been thinking about getting into the hobby, and I'm like, well, then you should build a kit that you like first, that you have some connection to, because if you're like, well, that wasn't a fun process, at the very least, you still have the model kit that you like, so you can still have that and be like, oh, well, this shit is cool. At least I have that. And then, the hope is that eventually if you did like it, then you can start just picking up stuff that looks neat or interests you. Like now, I build a lot of stuff that I'm like, I don't have a personal connection to this kit. I just think this kit looks neat, uh, and so I'm going to build it. Like I haven't watched any of Gundam Build Divers Re-Rise. I have no connection to Gundam Build Divers Re-Rise, but the Uravan kit uh, looked neat. It's a core fighter that can turn in, that has a flight mode, and then it has a bunch of armor that can fly in and then go on top of it, so it becomes a big, thick, bulky boy. Yeah, I'm into that. That looks neat. It's a cool looking kit. It was also on sale for $18. So yeah, I'm gonna buy an $18 high grade that looks neat. Uh, but yeah. I mean that's kind of always been my kit philosophy. Is just like now it's like I've got my favorites, right? So like weirdly enough, if I'm gonna be in a store, I don't expect to be in a store, right? But let's say I'm in a hobby shop. I decide to go in a hobby shop. I'm gonna support a local business, right? First, I'm going to look for the things that I want to build. Stuff that I haven't seen in a while, or I built it when I was first in the hobby in the mid to late '90s, but I haven't kind of gotten like I just never found it again, or it didn't have any re-releases, right? So they're hard to find, right? Uh, so for a while there, that was G Gundam Master Grades, but then eventually I got all of them. There's only 4 of them. I got all of them. Re-Rise is miles better than Build Divers. Oh, that's good to hear. And you haven't watched any Re-Rise since Lashbrook, but that show seems to have a lot of good designs. Yeah, I think the high grades that are coming out of it, one, there's never been a better time to buy high grades because they just all look fantastic. And their just build quality is superb when it comes to a high grade. I don't think there's ever been better 144 scale high grades than we've gotten right now. The attention to detail is just phenomenal. And they're just so sturdy. Like divers a fair bit. All right, cool. Yeah. But yeah, so you know what my quote unquote white whale is? I would love to rebuild because I haven't built them since they came out. Some Gundam X stuff, or I've built one thing from Turn A. I'd like to build the other Gundam from Turn A. That's something that I'm like, if I'm going to be in a store, those are things I'm looking for, right? I'm looking for the high grades from G Gundam I haven't built yet. Like, maybe I want to go and check out, some high grades from G Gundam that I never built. So, like, I'll go look for that. Or I'm going to look for the master grades from Gundam X because I enjoyed building those at the time, and I've only built the Double X in the modern era of me building model kits. So I can look for that. But then maybe I'm going to start looking at just like, okay, well, they didn't have what I'm looking for, or they're priced at like $80 or some nonsense thing. Okay, well, let me just look at like what's cool. I missed my G Gundam, loaned it to a local shop a while ago, and haven't seen it at the store since. Oh no! You may have loaned that to a local employee of that shop. Shit, that sucks. In the modern era of me building kits after my long hiatus, I ended up I built a Double X, but I haven't built any of the other kits from that show. But they're on my radar, like cons and stuff. I haven't looked in any local shops here in this area. I am close to Myrtle's Beach, Myrtle Beach, not Myrtle's. I'm close to Myrtle Beach, so theoretically, I could be near. There could be shops here. I have not done the research to see if there's any local shops, but I'm certainly intrigued by it. Sorry, I'm having a little trouble getting this together. I'm kind of forcing things. I don't want to force them too hard. But I'm trying to get this all snapped together. Sometimes when you're putting these kits together, you got to get everything lined up just right. Otherwise, they will look crooked, and I'd rather take my time with it than have to later disassemble. This isn't a Lego set. Lego set, you can disassemble anytime you want, real easy. Model kits, you got to do a little more work to get them apart. All right, I'll just kind of do this here. When in doubt, kind of shove everything together here. Sometimes that'll work. You don't want to break anything, but you can kind of just squeeze everything together. But yeah, I'm looking for, I'm always looking for the stuff that I would like to build, and then I'm looking at what's cool. And when I look at Amazon, I start adding stuff to my wish list. Oh, there we go. There, I got it on. I'm also looking when wish list stuff comes around. I'm also looking at like, what's a reasonably priced kit? Like I'll put some expensive stuff on there, but I'm also looking at stuff that's like, like these high grades. It's 1.5 builds, or 1.5 streams to do a high grade, but they look pretty neat. And it's not the most important thing in the world to me right now to put stuff up that when I tweet out, this is what I'm building today. My hope is that people see it and they go like, oh, that looks cool. And if somebody who's like hasn't been on a stream in a while but follows me on Twitter sees like me post a thing and they're like, it intrigues them enough they want to click on it and watch a stream that night, then great. Because it would be great if more of my almost 7,000 Twitter followers would watch a stream that I did. I'm not expecting it because my engagement isn't that high. Because following an account and actively engaging with it are different things. But it would be cool if, more people that followed me on Twitter watch the streams. So if I can entice anybody, then that would be neat. Or like I had some people who were new to the stream when I did the Deep Space Nine kit, the Defiant, because Chris Straub retweeted that I was doing that. So some people who were just interested in seeing what that model kit looked like, who didn't necessarily know me, or may have known me because they went to a panel that Chris was on that I was running or on, had an opportunity to be like, oh, well, check this out. It is, as I said, these are not things that I like, I keep an eye on, I keep in mind, but I'm not like, I don't obsess about all those things. I try not to anyway. I'm mostly focused on what can I do to make my streams better and have more fun and have people engage and having a good time while they watch. Those are generally the things I think about the most. I occasionally, I think about, improvements. I'm pretty happy with my current setup here. I have looked at some solutions that are inexpensive to replace this clip light thing that I've got here, this reading light, with an overhead light to kind of brighten the space a bit. I have looked into that a little bit. I'm going to have to raise this up a little bit here at the end of October because I'm going to do a pumpkin carving stream because those have always been fun. So I'll be doing that at the end of, middle to end of October. So I'm going to have to kind of readjust that because I'm going to have to get higher up to go into it. I'm kind of keep an eye on those things as I start to find other stuff. The most important thing to me these days, as far as streams go, is consistency. It is making sure that I am streaming when I say I'm going to stream, and then, today's the first day in a very long time that I changed, at any point, changed what I was going to do. Yay, pumpkin carving. Yes, I'm very excited about that. I've done that in the past. It's been really fun. 2 years ago, I waited way too long to get a pumpkin, and so we carved tiny pumpkins, and that was weird. Because those are not pumpkins that are meant to. Those are pumpkins that are meant to be painted, not carved. So last year I went early and got one, and then because I got one, it started to turn. So I ended up doing it earlier in October than I would have liked. But this year, I can get a pumpkin at a reasonable time, put it out in the patio here at the house, the porch I should say, and then bring it in when it's time to carve, and that'll be very fun. But yeah, I try to be consistent about like when I stream, and it's like, oh, well, Wednesday's the extra stream, and it's a variety of things. But if you want to see me build model kits or Lego sets, that's Saturday, Monday, or Thursday at the same times every time. And I try to be consistent about that. I was finding that when I would have things on Wednesday happen, well, that's probably the week to not do a bonus stream because people are not thinking about me on a Tuesday night, and that's okay. Don't think about me on a Tuesday night. But it did mean that I was like, oh, well, I don't have people watching the streams if they don't think about me as a thing they do on a Tuesday, then they're less likely to come hang out. So I'm like, okay, that's a good thing to remember. Anyway, I'm going to finish up this step. Then we're going to take our pause for the cause, and I'll talk about ways you can support the channel. Then we'll get back. I'll talk about some anime, although it's a little different from my usual Monday anime reviews. I'll just say that now as I get this together. So my usual anime reviews are on Monday are God of High School, which had its last episode today. I thought last week that the 12th episode was the last episode. I was wrong. There were 13 episodes. I thought it was ending on a huge, ginormous cliffhanger, and instead, it just kind of wrapped things up. There's still a cliffhanger, but it mostly wrapped things up. It was like, oh, okay, sure. Ninja Collection took another week off. I did not expect that. I never know when that show is going to be on hiatus or not, or take a week off. So that show took a week off, so no episode of that. And I have made the choice to take a break because there's a bunch of shows coming in, and I just kind of didn't want to watch today's episode. I did not watch, late Saturdays, so on Sunday's episode of, One Piece. I think I'm just going to take maybe a break on One Piece. I just wasn't feeling it. I think that's something I'd rather like to get caught up on. Because it feels like, there might be more shows on Mondays. You never know. Usually, Sunday and Monday, there isn't a lot that comes out. So I probably will pick it back up. I just didn't necessarily feel like watching the episode. But I also will be able to talk about a show that I stopped watching, that I finished up, in order to talk about it on the stream. There will be a bit of a rant because it's a piece of nonsense. Oh boy. It's not even over yet, but I got caught up on GIbiate, and it is weird. It is a weird show that has made some weird fucking choices. Holy fucking shit. It's a weird one. All right, let's get this together here, and then we'll take our pause to the cause in a moment or two. Just gotta get this lovely piece down so the cockpit can open and get in and out of there. Boop. And then we'll put these on here. These aren't the hard pieces. When you talk about gold on this kit, talking about putting some gold pieces on this kit, there are two easy pieces like this, and then there's the hard ones, which is the worst part of this kit is the head. Getting the little tiny gold pieces on the sides of the head to go in and stay in is very difficult. I'll probably make use of tweezers. I will be cursing when we start doing the head. And I might have to put some blue tack in there just to keep things together. We'll see. I hope not, but we might have to blue tack it. All right. And that is our body. Move on to the head unit. After our pause for the cause, hey everybody, this is going to be a couple minutes here. I'm just going to talk to you all about a few ways about how you, if you wanted to, could support the stream, if that's something you'd like to do. I'm going to throw the Baer Cave, the Lego, the Scythe mode. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply with those. You're under no obligation to do so, but feel free to reply with an emote. If you're a subscriber, let the people know. Becoming a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here. For $5 a month, cash money. If you've never been a subscriber to the channel before, you could subscribe right now in September, and save money. That's a thing you could just do if you wanted to. You're under no obligation to do so, but it would help me out quite a bit if you wanted to become a subscriber. But again, don't have to worry about that if you don't want to. I'm just going to go through some real quick quick hits here of ways you can support the channel. You can donate. You'll see the leaderboard up there. We had Silver Streak and Bobby Dust Roller donated 15 subscriptions this month, which is ridiculous and lovely. But we got or Bits and Coins. We got Jam, we got Harold, we got Gary. They all donated stuff, which is awesome. Bits and Coins always appreciated. Thank you everybody who's ever become a subscriber. Use their Prime Gaming because they linked their Amazon Prime with their Twitch and use their token for me. That's rad. I appreciate that very much. Under no obligation to do that. That's cool. I have a Patreon. Look, I would say if you want to join my Patreon, that would be great because you could join in for $1 or $3 instead of the $5 or $10. But if you're going to join my Patreon, join it on Thursday. Get started at the beginning of the new month. Don't do it now. But if you're watching this later on YouTube, hey, what's up? The show description of this video has all the links I'm about to mention, so you can check those out. Also, if you're like, Pat, I can't do a monthly thing, but every once in a while, I can throw a little cash your way that you would use immediately to buy model kits, right? Yes, we'll go to the fund to buy model kits. But you could do Coffee or Streamlabs or PayPal and just make a donation right there. That money goes into my fund, which I use to buy model kits with. The model kits that I bought here, this Deathscythe, was used partly with money from my Patreon. So that came from there. Patreon and a little bit of direct donations went into that. When I bought that and the Tall Geese 2. Which is, just very helpful. Also, if you're like, Pat, I knew you were going to build a Deathscythe no matter what. You were going to build this Deathscythe. But before you do one of the other kits you have, what if you built something that I bought? Well, you could go to my Amazon wish list. I have an Amazon wish list. You buy something on there, it comes to me in the mail. I build it ahead of other things. So if you want me to build the Astaroth Gundam, one of the only Gundams from Iron Blooded Orphans that I haven't built, I'll build that high grade. It's a cool looking high grade. If you want me to build a Lego set, you could buy that, and I'll build that ahead of time, or build that ahead of everything else. Because if you buy something on my wish list and it comes to me, it jumps the queue. I got some high grades in there. I've got some. I've got one of the only RE100s, the Gun EZ, which is one of the only RE100s I haven't built yet because I built a lot of them. Some very affordable master grade in there right now. I mean, master grades are very expensive these days, but the RGM 79 GM, I'm going to say the whole thing, that's $32 right now with Prime, which is a good price. But yeah, I've got a bunch of different things in there, a bunch of different price points. I will build them if you buy them. That is an option that you have. We'll get to building just a minute. I want to just finish up promoting my stuff. An alternative would be to go to USA Gundam Store and buy something there. You buy a gift card there. You don't buy model kits there for me to build, but you buy a gift card there, and then you send me a message on Twitter because my DMs are open and be like, hey, I bought this gift card. Here's the code. You buy something and you build it. And I'll do that, which would be neat. Let's see. I have a Discord. You can join my Discord. That is another way to support me for free because people post stuff they're working on. People have nice conversations. We just had a chat about recommending somebody a kit that they were like, hey, these are the Gundams I remember, or the model kits I really remember liking, the mobile suits. What do you recommend? And I was like, well, this kit looks rad. You could get that. And people post photos of things they're working on, which I always think is awesome to see what you all are up to. Today I posted Pat Baer's Anime Club. The newest episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club is my wrap-up of the summer anime season. Now, I recorded that live on Wednesday here as a bonus stream, so if you weren't there for that and you wanted to see the archive of me talking about the shows, before some of them even ended, spoiler alert, I still like the ones that didn't air, or that even though their final episode hadn't aired. Turns out, everybody kind of stuck the landing. Uzaki-chan teased us with it being a dramatic last episode, and it turned out to be a fake out, which was rude. But otherwise, all those shows are great. So I did that. I will have for this Wednesday a new Baering the List. This one, the last one, is about cereal that I put up there. I rank things. They're lightweight and fun. You can watch that there. It doesn't take that long. And just get my opinions on breakfast cereals. That's the thing you could just do. All right, I'm going to drink a little water here, and then I'm going to get back into building. And I'm also going to talk about some anime that came out. Yeah. And if you want to hear me talk about a really nonsense anime, I'm going to get into it. So let's drink a little water and then talk about some anime. Here we go. Boom. Yeah. Okay. So let's go and let's start working on the head of this kit. Okay. All right. So let's start with the God of High School episode because that's the 13th episode. I thought it was episode 12 was going to be a cliffhanger. I thought that was actually kind of cool that they were going to do that. They didn't do that. Instead, here's this last episode where things get wrapped up in some ways a little neatly. So, at the end of the last episode, Jagal, who was the main protagonist, one of the main protagonists in the show, he has absorbed the key, which basically gives him pretty much the power of the gods. He's basically some sort of god. And he's fighting Mori and Dawi and Mira and everyone else in Seoul. Every other living person in Seoul, South Korea, was teleported away by, what's his name? The old guy. The old guy who was part of the Six. Jason. I just want to remind you folks that this old man was dressed like a British magician. Like when you think of a magician, like black and white checkered top hat. Ooh, we dropped some more frames here. Uh-oh. Hope this is okay. Hopefully this will be all right. I'm going to wait it out, see if we go better. Okay. And we have not gotten better yet. But, just dropping way more frames here. All right, let's hold on, folks. Let's hold this together. Let's see if... Nope. Went to yellow. Okay. Orange. Still not great. So, my apologies. The local recording will be fine because that usually is fine. But my apologies, folks, if you're having trouble seeing what's going on here. As I just continue to drop frames. Oh, no. I was having a lot of trouble on Saturday, too. Yeah. I ran into like a couple drop frames on Saturday, our last stream. Okay, we're back to green. So hopefully everything's going to be okay. If I disconnect, try refreshing. I'll try to come back. But that was bad there. So sorry about that, folks. Hopefully everything will be okay. We're getting some storms out here. So that might have been one of the issues. Okay, what? Get out of here. Just getting a bunch of notifications of things that people want me to do. I don't want to do those things. All right. So anyway, Jensen, you gotta look him up. Old guy dressed like a magician. Love that shit. I was mad that had not appeared earlier, but it was a very fun nonsense surprise. So we get that. Let's see. Jagal talks a bunch of useless villain shit. I didn't even remember what he said, but it was all like, "All will die before me," blah blah blah. Mori attempts to fight back using the acupuncture techniques that he has to kind of like heal himself up. That's all temporary. He's not doing great in this endeavor. And then Mori has a flashback or a hidden memory or something. And then he unlocks some powers that have been inside of him this whole time that in his fight with Ipio, he definitely unlocked some of these powers. Like, there were like thunderstorms, and people were like, "Hey, what the fuck is happening right now?" And he didn't know what was happening right now because he doesn't remember. Uh, Mori's the goddamn Monkey King. Mori is the Monkey King. He has a shrinking and glowing staff and growing staff that he can use. He has a crown of energy that just shows up on his head. He's the Monkey King. This this show has both the spirit of Lu Bu and the Monkey King. So it is both referencing. It's referencing two of the great Chinese novels, which is very silly that it is referencing both of them. That it has both the monkey. So it's Journey to the West and Romance of the Three Kingdoms. That is some come on, what are we doing here nonsense that I'm kind of here for. I'm kind of into it. It's weird, but I do appreciate that it's happening. Um, so yeah, he's the Monkey King. Uh, let's see. And yeah, then he grabs a huge storm and he sets Jago flying. And then basically he also has a flashback of him like using the powers, like another version of him from like a different part of a different lifetime. Uh, and the tournament organizers realized that unlike them using the Cherokee or Chucky, uh, he's not doing that. Um, he is just using the powers that he has. Uh, that's his power. That's not a borrowed power. That's his goddamn power. Okay, and then Django looks like he's defeated. He turns into some sort of monster. Whatever he was using, whatever god he was borrowing powers from, seems to just completely absorb him. And it's fucked up. And then Ipio shows up to help. And then Jensen, the old man, he helps a little bit too. And apparently that's enough to finally kill him. Like, he was trying not to die, but he did die there. Jagal seems to be fully defeated and completely gone. Ilpio gets his fragments of the key back. Not all of the key. He just gets pieces of the key back, which is, a bummer that he couldn't get all of it back. Let's see. And then what else happens? Okay, so Bora, who is a character I completely forgot existed. She was on Jagal's team. She seemed very strong. She was fighting people just because she was bored and might have a crush on Dawi for being a cool dude. She shows up and she awakens Kim Ugyan, who is the member of the Six that we haven't met yet. There was one member of the Six that we hadn't met. She's apparently been sleeping this whole time. She declares Mori the winner, and she's the one that can grant people whatever wish that they desire because she has magic powers. At the cost of, like, her age, she, like, when she runs out of power, she gets younger. It's just nonsense. Mori wishes... She can't bring people back from the dead. So Mori wishes for all the people that got hurt in the tournament to be healed, and they are, which is very nice of him. And then apparently this woman is so old that she knows Mori when he was the Monkey King, like she recognizes him. And she's like, hey, your grandpa's alive. He's barely alive, but he's alive. And let's see. Mori is happy. The crown disappears and he passes out for literally 3 months. And then maybe they're going to try to take control of the Six are going to try to take control of the government, which, okay. The cult. People might like the cult now because they helped out in the reconstruction of Seoul. Okay. That's a whole thing that's happening. Let's see. And then, like, this is just kind of like a dump of stuff at the end, right? Like, the major action is over. Now let's, like, figure out what happens next. Ipio and his gang have to go find the other fragments of the key that are scattered out through the world. And Mori's powers are locked until he can find the birthplace of the Monkey King. So that they're going to go try to find his homeland. And then the last shot is that Mori's grandfather is still alive, and he's like, I believe in you, Mori, that you're powerful enough to beat anyone, even me. Which, yeah, it looks like some shit's going to get dark there. Things got dark in this show, and it looks like it's going to continue to get dark. The fact that he's the fucking Monkey King is kind of hilarious, and it's just like, well, if you're gonna have all these like gods and historical figures, and myths and stuff, I guess you can also have a fucking, you can have fucking the Monkey King show up and not have it be like a part of like powers. You just have it a thing that this dude has. It's like, all right, he's the fucking Monkey King, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of less enthused about that than other shit. But also, I wasn't too psyched when all these mystical powers started showing up. Because I kind of liked it when it was just like, this is a tournament about cool high school kids fighting each other in a tournament. And I was like, that sounds neat. And then it just got... I mean, it started with a cult, but like, I was like, oh, I'm kind of less interested in this part of it. So I said I might have to use some blue tack on this. I've never liked how these pieces have gone in. I never feel like they go in cleanly. So I will do my best to get these attached. Alright, so now I'm going to talk about two shows. One show I was watching but not talking about. I'll mention that second. And one I started watching, and I kind of just got tired of it, so I stopped. There's still one more episode left of GIbiate, so I will watch the last episode of GIbiate on Wednesday and talk to you about it on Thursday, because I do want to finish up this terrible series. Okay, so let me just say... yeah, because there wasn't a new episode of Ninja Collection, so I was like, oh, I'll just watch this and get caught up on it. The CG monsters are still terrible. They're still awful looking. You shouldn't watch. This show is still bad. All my favorite characters in the show are dead. Don't want to say which ones, but they're all my favorites. Literally, every character I liked in the show are dead. Every single one. And now I'm going to tell you something. So, if you don't know the anime, GIbiate, if you don't know the anime, here is the breakdown. In the future, a virus has taken over the world. It turns people into monsters and makes them violent without control, and a bite from their stingers will turn you into a monster. So it spreads, and it's terrible, and it's been awful for people, and it's a post-apocalypse chaotic. There's a doctor who is trying to find a cure for it, and he is joined by a bunch of survivors in Japan as they try to figure out what's going on and survive. Also, a samurai and a ninja and a warrior monk all show up. They time travel. And they all show up in the present after time traveling. And they help fight the monsters because they are skilled warriors from the past. Also, randomly, they find an exhibit on the past where they get their weapons for some reason. So it's fated, I guess, that they show up and find their weapons of the past and make use of their weapons, which is, very fucking convenient that they just happen to find those. And then they fight a bunch of monsters. And hey, folks, I'm about to spoil a terrible anime that you should not watch. Please don't watch this anime. But if you are like, I guess, spoilers. It's an alien virus. And the giant humanoid whose name is Meteora. Meteora and the Doctor are aliens. The guy that has been looking for a cure, well, he's not been looking for a cure to the disease. He's been looking to add intelligence back to his fiance, who has become a monster. They crash landed on this planet and brought the disease with them. They're aliens. And, yeah. It is... There's been... Look, in 11 episodes, there has been no explanation of the time travel. I did wonder why he was a doctor. Was so much like, yeah, I'm not going to second guess or question time travel. Like, he never really thought about it, but that's because he's an alien. So, part of it was just like, well, there are monsters here, so what does it matter if there's also time travel? But yeah, it's a fucking he's a fucking alien. And as I said, all the characters I liked are dead. And it ends with him turning into a monster, probably with his intelligence intact, but maybe not. And it sucks. It's just a pretty shitty. It's a pretty shitty show, which I do not recommend. So yeah, that's GIbiate. Cannot recommend it as a show that you should watch. Also, I mean, you should watch clips of it. Watch some clips of it. Go to the Crunchyroll's account on YouTube and watch a clip of it, because it is kind of funny to see how bad the CG animation is, because the CG monsters look so terrible and they don't match well at all with what's going on in the show. So it's kind of incredible to see. It's kind of amazing. But it's mostly bad. It's mostly a very bad show. Alright, so I got to put these back in here and try to get this attached here. So yeah, now the problem is getting these in place, lined up right, and in place where they should be. And then also getting this attached without them falling out. So I said I might have to do blue tack, but hopefully will not. And then one show I just want to talk about kind of briefly here. I wasn't watching it week to week. I was watching like a couple episodes in a row at a time, but I finished it and it wrapped up. So I feel like I guess I could talk about... I'll just talk about Monster Girl Doctor. Look, here's the thing. It is described as an anime by Monster Girl fans, for Monster Girl fans. So that should tell you if you want to see the show or not. If you are interested in an anime about monster girls and the human doctor that helps take care of them, then you should watch the show. I think I said this on Wednesday, but it does bear repeating. Look, this show doesn't get made if it's not as horny as it is, but I really enjoy all the parts of it that aren't horny and that are just like an interesting story. Like, look, the plot that this is a town, this is one of the most successful towns where monsters and humans live together after a great war, because a heavenly being came down, like literally a god came down and was sick of all the bloodshed and created a town, and she took the form of a dragon so that she could encourage monsters to move there. And it's a cool city where people are interacting and figuring things out and working together and fighting with each other. Like, it's an okay show. And then also, it is very, very horny. It is unbelievably, unquestionably horny. And that is the dichotomy of the two things. But yes, it probably doesn't get made unless it is the way it is, because it is made for a target demographic that really wants it to be that. And you're like, okay. Okay. Ah, shit, these things just... Yeah. Alright, I'm going to take a break of trying to put this together the way it is. This is the part... The head of the Deathscythe is the most annoying part of the whole kit. So once this is done, it will be a lot easier to put this together. But right now it is just kind of frustrating. So I'm going to do some of these stickers now here. I can't believe that I'm saying I'll do a sticker because it'll relax me, but it will. It's a lot easier to put these stickers in like this. And then I will attempt to do the rest of this kit. Continue this kit's build. But yeah, the Deathscythe is always a little frustrating. If they ever do a new revision of this kit, I hope that they endeavor to put this together a little differently. Because this part is a little frustrating. But yeah. Yeah, so Monster Girl Doctor, like, I think you kind of know if you want to watch it or not, if that appeals to you. If you liked Monster Musume, then maybe this will be the show for you. But if you're like, no, Pat, what? No, then that's not the show for you, and that's okay. Alright, so why won't you work? Let's put that away. Okay. Just make sure that this is connected right. So, got the face mask on. Well, it's not on the way. Got to get these pieces on, and then we will connect them together. And then once those are connected, we can start on the arms. We got to get these all on first. But yeah, I'm excited for the new season. There's a bunch of shows coming out, a whole lot of anime. This is a very busy season. It feels like, you know, some stuff was... Oh, this is going the sub here. Some stuff was moved over to 2021, but it seems like a lot of stuff, they were just like, well, this is going to be a busy season, and we're going to pack them all in, which rules for people that, you know, may have felt like, oh, there wasn't enough. So it's going to be a thing where I'm going to try a bunch of stuff, and I'm definitely going to drop a bunch of things very quickly. Or there might be some things like GIbiate that, like, I don't feel like watching this right now. Usually, the end of the fall season it wraps up earlier in December than later, and especially because a lot of stuff is starting. I mean, a lot of shows are starting basically Thursday. Like a lot of stuff is coming out Thursday and Friday. So, if a bunch of stuff is coming out then it makes sense that this season will be wrapped up a little earlier than normal, unless things get delayed or takes weeks off. So in December, I can just catch up on stuff that came out that I ended up watching. Okay, breathe. Breathe. We're not technically even done with the head because we still have to do the crown, but the crown is way easier than this. The real issue is getting this together, getting these on, and then having it not fall apart. So yeah, I may have to blue tack this together. I may have to blue tack the head on. Let me just get this part on here. Sometimes it does make sense to just walk away from a thing if you're having some issues with the kit. If you're like, this is not going the way it should. I'm having issues with this build. Sometimes you can just work on something else. Like I can always just start on it. I mean, it's a little different for me because I do want to take a photo of this at the end to show my progress. And I can't really show progress if I don't do the steps. So it's a little different. But yeah, if you're doing model kit building out there and you run into some issues, I would recommend taking a step back, taking a short break, taking a little time to figure out what's going on and what you can do to snap things back into place. All right, let's try the old tweezers method. All right. Thank you, Bad Gunpla. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chatting. Yeah, I'm gonna be working on this. This will be a couple streams to do. So yeah, thanks for being here. Yeah, folks, we are gonna go till a little before 11 o'clock. That is our traditional time that we will break after that as we try to get this stuff together, and then we will go and raid because that's what we do here. We go and try to raid someone cool, and so hopefully someone on the West Coast. Hopefully someone who will be streaming for a while, because I always try to do that for y'all, especially folks that are in the middle of the country or on the West Coast. Folks that are on the East Coast, it's late. It's not that late. I mean, I'm going to be up for a couple more hours. Got to cool down. I got to get a snack after this. I got some Cool Ranch Doritos to eat. Very excited about having those Cool Ranch Doritos. Yeah, gonna have some Doritos. Gonna have a little soda. Kind of chill out. Watch a couple videos that came out on YouTube. Some that I subscribed to that came out while I was streaming, which is always fun. Watch some Hearthstone videos. People doing some fun stuff in Hearthstone. That'll be good. See if there's anything else that I missed. Maybe I'll watch a bunch of the stream, whatever stream we raid. I'll be watching some of that as we go. As I go and upload the videos I got to upload and all that. Okay, so we got these in. We got the face here. So the attempt is that I'm going to try to do this time. Try to line this all up right. Without the face falling forward. Without the side pieces here, the grills popping out, and actually it all coming together. And if I can do all that, then it'll be great. Right now, I cannot do that. I'm mostly there. I don't know what I'm missing. Very frustrating because it's like just not connecting, and I don't know why. It's lined up right. One of these popped out. Damn. I was close. It felt almost right. As I said, this is an annoying step. I think every time I built this kit, I have come to the same issues here, where I'm like, well, nope, that's almost ready. Oh, this is almost right. All right, so I'm going to put these down for a second. I'm going to try to shove everything in here, make sure that everything is shoved in right. That looks good. That looks good. Okay. Keep going with this. Yeah, so this Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, I am going to be playing Hearthstone again. We're gonna try to rank up some of our standards. See, we got a standard deck that I kind of like. I'm gonna try to play that. It's got some wild decks that I think are fun. My standard deck will be worse when the debuff happens there because that deck does have a card that now costs 1 more mana, but I don't think it's going to be too bad to do. I think we'll be okay. But yeah. Oh, yeah! Oh, hell yeah, we did it! Woo! Okay. Everything is together now. It's all connected. It's all together. Thank fucking Christ. That took so long, y'all. So sorry about that. All right, let's finish off the head by putting the other pieces on there. But yes, whew, did that part. Got that on. Heck yeah. What was it? Yeah. That'll be Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. About an hour and a half of maybe 2 hours, depending on how I'm feeling, how we're going. If I'm getting hot, if I'm getting salty while playing. But I will be playing some Hearthstone, and that'll be fun. Thursday, gonna continue this build. I'll have new anime to talk about and the end of some older stuff to chat about. That'll be good. So Thursday, and then Saturday, continue doing this. New anime to talk about, new shows to watch, a whole bunch of different stuff to enjoy, that hopefully you will enjoy. And we'll take it one day at a time. We're going to finish off this head here, and then we'll get a little bit of the arms started. So I have a little bit to show off here. Gotta get this crown on. It's another thing I might tack. Sometimes the crown doesn't want to stay on. Should be okay. If you got any questions, anything you want to chat about, anything you want me to know, feel free to throw those into the old comments. Always appreciate that. You're under no obligation to do so, obviously. But if you like chatting, if you like asking a question, comment, anything like that, feel free to throw that in there. Like seeing that shit. Let's see. Yeah, head's done. Put that on there. So we got some stuff done here on our master grade. Well, let's get a little bit of the arms done. We can do a bunch of this stuff at once. So let's get some of that stuff done. Some XBs. Get some XBs in here. And XB and XB, great. All right. All right. Yeah. All right, let's get a few more things done here, and then we will go and raid. Not a lot of you left here at the moment, but that's okay. It's Monday night. Got other stuff going on. Maybe you're real tired. That's okay. I understand. But we'll wrap things up here in a couple minutes. Uristavan says, I'm in full lurker mode. You got nothing. That's okay. Uristavan, that's totally all right. Things kind of got a little chill, a lot of like laid back tonight, and that's okay. Started off, we hit some numbers. Got a few things here, but yeah, kind of relaxing off. You've been playing Hades. It's been more fun than expected. Yeah, I've seen people have a real good time with that game. That's not necessarily on my radar, but looks cool, and I'm glad people are enjoying it. I hope they continue to have fun with it. It seems like a game that really did well, in part because it had a long time in early access and listened to feedback and made changes that the community were really engaged with and stuck to its guns and some other stuff. Good. It's surprising to see real brief how many people don't play games in early access. Yes, Lastbrook, I know a lot of people were like, I bought this game in early access and then I stopped playing it and I waited for it to come out. And then when it came out, I know I saw at least a few people when that game came out that were like, wait, that wasn't out yet? I thought what? And they were just very confused because they just they bought it but hadn't played it because they didn't play it in early access. Yeah. Yeah, I think last week a lot of people were just like, I don't want to play, like, I think, yeah, some people like the Switch version. That makes sense. They just didn't want to play it on Steam. Or perhaps it's just that, like, a lot of people were like, well, even though I have respect for this studio, like, I know that they're going to put out a good product because I know this studio is quality. Supergiant Games, I should say, is a quality studio. There are a lot of people who are like, I don't want to pay early access for what is really just a demo, and they're not going to put any changes in it. I mean, there's been plenty of instances of early access games that are, shovelware. They're just stuff that was taken out of, either purchased or just completely ripped off packs of stuff and just kind of thrown together enough to get any kind of money. And they are a scam. There have been plenty of those. And there are other ones that are just like, yeah, some of them are cash grabs, and some of them are just like, we are in over our heads, and we're never going to be better than what we just put out here. So I think some people are just wary of it. Or I have heard from a number of people, and I can understand the sentiment. They're like, look, I want to play a game and just play it. I don't want to play some of it and then wait 3 years and then play the rest of it. So when the game's done, let me know and I'll pick it up. Which is why some people got in early access and then just like hung out and waited because they just didn't want to. They don't want to work on it. They don't want to buy a work in progress. They want to buy a product. But yeah, obviously there were enough people that were really engaged with it the whole time. It had comments and on it and all of that, so it was able to flourish, which is rad. I'm fucking psyched for them. They were able to do that. Yeah, I've heard enough horror stories of like early access that weren't never get updated, and you're just like, oh, you use the fact that this is a place for people who are works in progresses to put your thing because you knew that it couldn't survive otherwise, and you could just do some of the work and get a little bit of money. And there'd be some people who would like never check up on what you're doing and never even think about it again. They'd like eventually just be like, oh yeah, when did that come out? Did that come out? Like the fact that I still have 2 games that I kickstarted that are one game is still supposedly in active development, and maybe I'll someday get it. And another one, I just is never going to come out. And I get it, and I understand it, and it's in that instance I've made my peace with. But it's just like, well, I only backed so many games, and the fact that only 2 of them look like they're never fucking ever going to come out, like, that's still pretty good odds. But for some people, that's like, no, that those aren't odds I want to take. I want the games that I gave money to make. I want them to make games. We'll see. All right, and let's just put D17 on here. We'll just get these shoulders done, and then we're going to call it quitsies. And we'll go and raid somebody awesome and see what's going on. Find someone cool to go check out at the end of the stream. And then I'll be back on Wednesday to play Hearthstone, and Thursday to continue this cool kit. And that's what's up. But I'm going to pause my audio here and mute. I said pause. I meant mute. That's fun. It's not really fun, but that's kind of fun. And we'll go here to see who's around and who's doing what. I don't know what Mary's watching, so we're not going to... speaking of Hades, Xandra, the lovely Xandra, is playing Hades right now. So we are going to go raid Xandra and check out what she's doing in Hades. That should be really fun. Xandra rules. Xandra made my emotes and is an A+ person. A+, good friend. So we're going to go give her a raid. Feel free to come along if you want to watch some fun some fun Hades playing. No backseat, no chat spoilers. Be nice, be cool, respect her wishes. But yeah, we're gonna give her a raid. Feel free to come along. I will see you on Wednesday. Oh, thank you for following me, Northern Lights. Appreciate that. Right at the end of the stream. But yeah, we're gonna go give her a raid, and I'll see you on Wednesday for Hearthstone, Thursday for some building. Bye, everybody. Have a great one. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.